Hello and welcome everyone to our very first What's New Wednesday event of 2024. Hi, my name is Katie and I am coming to you from our Canva office in Austin, Texas. And I am so excited to be hosting you all again in the new year. I'm here to guide you through some of Canva's latest features, newest updates, and make sure all of you have all the tools you need to be making the most beautiful content and streamlining your work with Canva. So while we're getting started, I would love to learn a little bit about everyone. So let me know in the chat where you're coming from and what you've been using Canva for a lot lately, what kind of projects you're working on, or maybe even your favorite new feature. So for instance, I'll get started. My name is Katie. I'm coming from Austin, Texas, and I have been using Canva presentations lately. I've been using them a lot to make beautiful decks for webinars and for handouts for webinars. Speaking of which, make sure you grab the handout for this event. You can find it above the chat, and our lovely moderators will also be dropping that link in the chat. The handout, when you click on the link, it's going to open your template for you, and that is yours to take home. It's going to cover everything that we're going to talk about in this session and have practice, learn and plays for you, as well as links out to a lot of really cool resources that you can use to just make sure that you know how to use every single tool that we talk about in this session or just in general with Canva. So I am so excited to chat about the new features, what's new, what's improved. So let's get into it, shall we? All right, here are our topics for today. If you are a returning viewer, welcome. Nice to see you all again. And if this is your first time at a What's New Wednesday, how cool. Thanks for joining. I hope you can make it to every session in 2024. So just so you know kind of the flow of this event, these are the three topics that we're going to go over. So first, I will introduce the topic, kind of tell you what it's used for, give you some use cases, tell you all about the topic, and then we'll jump into a demo. So yeah, this session is a little bit of talk, a little bit of show and tell, and just a lot of fun. So I'm so glad you could join me today. Oh, and if you can't stay for the whole session, don't sweat it. I know we're all busy, especially now at the beginning of the year, catching up on everything from last year. So if you can't stick around the whole time, do not worry. You will be getting an email shortly in the next few days with a link to re-watch this. And like I said, make sure to get the handout. But also, if you misplace that link, it'll be in the email follow-up, so no worries. And as this is going on, if you have any questions, go ahead and pop them in the Q&A, and our lovely moderators will make sure that your questions are answered and that you have the resources you need to be creating, designing, and just having a more concise workflow after this event. I am so excited. So yeah, here are our topics today. Why don't we just go ahead and get started? It has been 1 year since Canva Docs have launched. Let us know in the chat if you have used Docs. I absolutely am obsessed with Canva Docs. I have been using it in place of other platforms, and it's made it so much easier to make visually stunning, like a doc that I'm proud to share and to collaborate in. I absolutely love them. I have heard of a lot of our users using them to make resumes, using them for collaboration projects, outlines, proposals, you name it. Let me know in the chat if you've been using Docs, because I think they're really cool, and everyone that shows up to these events, you are all so creative. So I bet I'm gonna go through this chat later and see some use cases I haven't even thought of. So let me know. But speaking of which, we've got some updates to Docs. In the year since it's launched, we've seen so much growth in this space. So let's get into the latest and greatest, shall we? Kick off 2024 with Canva Docs. Find templates to help you set goals, write your masterpiece, or share with your team. Some of the new features include enhanced data visualization. So if you want to put a chart in your doc, go for it. If you want to embed a YouTube video in your doc, perfect. You can do that so easily. You can embed whatever you want and tag your team. That's another new feature, tagging and dates. You can tag teammates to let them know, I need you to complete this, or I need you to share this, or just for visibility reasons when collaborating with your team. But my new favorite feature is anonymous collaboration, which means that previously if you shared a doc with somebody, they would need to have a Canva account to work with you in there. And while I personally think everyone should have a Canva account, this new feature means that even if they don't, they can still view your doc and get in there and start collaborating with you, making edits and adding their content as well, which I think is really, really cool. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and hop into my Canva space, and we are going to take a blank doc and we are gonna transform it in just a couple of steps using some of our new features, using some of the existing features, and we're gonna make something to share with our team that we can be really proud of. How does that sound? All right, so here I am in my Canva demo space. So I can either click on Docs right here. You can also go up to Create a Design, Docs right there. And it's just gonna open a blank document. So I'm actually gonna go up to Templates. What I'm wanting to do is to create a goal tracker for my team. My team for my demo space is a pretend wellness company called Nourish. So we want to set our goals for 2024 as a team. So I'm gonna go in here, Doc Templates, and search Goal Tracker. And here are some different templates. Great. So I really like this, and it sets up a really great starting point for myself. So I can then go in and change everything, change my milestones, update this, update the action items, but it gives me a good idea of where to start when building a goal tracker document that I'm then gonna share with my team. But it wouldn't be Canva if we didn't have some really creative ways to make it visually stunning. So let's go ahead and get this on brand and get it looking more ready for my team. So I'm gonna click this header, and we're gonna edit that header. So our team colors are a bit different. You can go into our brand kit on the side. There's the Nourish logo, there's our colors. This yellow one isn't really on brand, but I don't want to start from scratch. So I'm going to go to Design. I'm going to search a header for Goal Tracker. Ooh, I really like this one right here. And now let's start customizing it. So the colors, here's the colors from our brand kit. Let's go with that color, but in case you missed it, you can now use gradients in just about anything when you're designing. I think this makes it look just a little bit more polished, and just like I took a little bit more time to put thought into my design, but it's so easy. So let me show you how. So I've chosen this color for my brand kit. I'll go up to the color picker here and click on gradient. I could change this color for my second color for the gradient, but I like that. So, okay, cool. Let's go ahead and change this font. Do some adjusting to make sure everything fits just right. And then just edit to make sure that it reflects what we'll be using this for. So February 2024 goals. Adjust, make sure everything's on brand. I can change these pictures to pictures from my brand kit. Drag and drop. And then just like that, now it's on brand, and you can do the same with all the rest of the colors and the fonts and everything in the document. Make that a gradient too. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is go through and edit all of the goals and everything to make sure it really reflects our team's goals and what we're working on, but you watching me make those edits isn't exactly engaging, so let's skip ahead to one that's more done. And here we are. I've completed my own goals. I've added my own images. And so now this is really, really professional looking. I love it. So let's put a few more finishing touches on it using some Canva magic. And speaking of magic, let's use Magic Write to make an intro. So I'm gonna hit the backslash on my keyboard, Magic Write. Write a short intro on the importance of goal setting for a team. That's a little long, so I'm gonna highlight it, summarize, always make sure that what Magic Write uses is what you're trying to say. Never use AI blindly, but let's say I really like this intro, this works for me. A new feature is putting in custom dividers. So I'm going to hit the backslash and type in divider, which I can then customize the width of the line, make changes, and add that gradient color too as well. All right, so this is looking really great, but let's say I have something that I've been working on that I want to make sure my whole team sees. I have a deck that I really wanted to make sure that everyone on my team has reviewed. So I want to embed it into this goal setting sheet. So I'm going to hit the backslash, embed. Now for us, for the purposes of this demo, it's going to be a presentation deck that I want my whole team to view. But this could also be a YouTube video. This could be a link out to just about anything, and it's going to make it so much easier for your team to view, interact with, and for you to ensure that everyone's seeing it. So I'm pasting the link to the deck that I want everybody to view. And there it is in the presentation. So now I know that my team can go straight to that deck, or they can even look at it here without leaving the document. How cool is that? And the last thing I want to show you is tagging your team within Docs now. So let's say I want to make sure 2 people on my team are completely aware that they need to view that document while reviewing the goals. So I'm going to ask my Canva assistant to make me a checklist. So first I am going to tag my colleague Julie and my colleague Leah, and let them know, please review this deck before end of week. And now they'll get a notification that they need to review this. And now we've done everything in one space. It is branded, it is beautiful, so many cool use cases. So now, one more thing, I want to make sure you know how to use anonymous sharing. So, like I was saying, sometimes you're working with somebody that doesn't have a Canva account, but you still want to get their feedback. So you can go up to here and hit share. So now we have anyone with the link can view, comment, or edit. But we're wanting to collaborate with somebody. So we're gonna put it at edit and copy that link. Now, let's say I've sent it to somebody that I'm partnering with outside of my organization that doesn't have Canva. And now you can tell that somebody is in the doc right here. If it's somebody from your team or somebody that's logged into Canva, you'll see their face up here with their name. But if they're anonymous, it's going to say something like wildcat or kangaroo or koala. So just know that is your anonymous collaborator. And now you can see the anonymous collaborator is leaving notes for us. How cool is that? All right, so those are the updates to docs, and I imagine over the next year we're gonna see even more updates and even more really cool features. So let me know in the comments what you're using docs for, and I can't wait to see what you create. Okay, next up we have Blur Brush. The Canva photo editor has had the blur option for a long time, but since we are striving to always make our features the best they can be, there are some upgrades. This feature just keeps getting better and better, and I can't wait to show you. Want to selectively blur areas in your photo so that you can really take control of where the focus is going? With Blur Brush, the latest addition to the blur effect, you can control what remains sharp and what fades into the background of your image. Adjust the shape and size of your photo focus areas and adjust the intensity of the blur to control how blurry the area is. Own your focal point with Blur Brush. Let me know in the chat if any of you have any immediate thoughts on how you can use this feature. So I was using it recently. I was editing some pictures, some family photos, and one of my relatives had a shirt on that had a logo on it that I didn't really know what it meant, so I just went ahead and put a soft blur over it. Easy peasy, but there are so many ways that you can use this. Maybe you want to have just the main person in the picture not be blurred. Maybe there is a child in the photo and you want their face blurred out if you're going to be sharing it online. So many really cool use cases, and it's so easy to use. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I mean. Let's get into the editor. Okay, so here I have an ad that I'm making for our pretend brand Nourish. It says new merch coming soon, and we have a mock-up from the Canva mockup library here showing this tote bag. So I'm going to click on the image and go to edit photo. And if you go down under effects, you'll see the blur option. Now before the update, you could only blur the entire image, which might still be a good option for you depending on what kind of content you're creating. So let me show you what that looks like. Blur whole image, and then you just adjust the intensity. Okay, I could see posting this or putting this in a newsletter or something like that. So where you can kind of tell that, you know, it's a tote bag, but you can't see the design perfectly. I really like that. But now let me show you the update. We're gonna go back to this image, edit photo, blur, and now we're gonna go to the blur brush option. Now I can adjust the brush size and the intensity. It's automatically set at 25 for both, and so that's what this looks like. Now let's say I wanna remove that, just click remove. Put the intensity up to 100% if I want to completely remove it. Make the blur brush bigger. And now it's back to normal. You can also click Remove Blur down here to reset any image. Now let's go to Add Blur. Yeah, I think 45 is a good size for this brush. We just want to blur out the bag. The intensity, let's see what it looks like at 75. Blur out the whole bag. You can't really tell what it is, and I still want you to be able to tell it's a tote bag. So I'm gonna remove blur, and I'm gonna do it at like 30 intensity. Let's see what this looks like. Ooh, I like that a lot better. You can tell it's a bag, but you can't see what the design is, so you don't know for sure, and it's still a little bit of a surprise. It's a teaser. Let's see what that looks like in the design. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. All right, so let me know if you can think of any other use cases for blur, or if you've used it already, if you've used the blur brush, if you've used the old version of blur, or anywhere in between. I would love to know what kind of creative projects you've used this on, or maybe you've used it in a way that no one else in the chat has thought about. Let us know so we can try it for ourselves. Now we have one more feature to discuss today, and this is the Enhancer app. Folks, I was so excited when I saw that this launched. I am always looking for ways to enhance older photos or make portraits just a little bit crisper, and Enhancer app is such a great way to do just that. First of all, I feel like a lot of people don't realize that Canva has a really awesome app store. And just about every couple of weeks, we are dropping new apps that are gonna help you design quicker and more efficiently and more creatively. So yeah, the Enhancer app has been such an awesome part of the App Store. So do you have a photo that you would love to share, but it's not exactly 100% perfect? Maybe it's blurry and you wish that you could just add a little extra shine to it. Enhance and upscale any image up to 1000% with our AI technology in just one click. Say goodbye to pixelation and blur and say hello to quality and clear images. I love this. I actually used this recently. I was going through some family photos, like I mentioned, with the blur brush, and I found some old photographs that had been uploaded, but they had originally been taken with a disposable camera in the 90s, and they just weren't super clear. And I put them through the Enhancer app, and I was just amazed at how I was able to take those precious memories and just upskill them, just make them look a little bit clearer and a little bit nicer for the family to share. But I feel like you could also use this for just about any setting. In a professional setting, you can make your headshots a little bit cleaner. In a creative setting, you can take pictures of your work and make it just a little bit more crisp. I can think of so many really cool things you can do with this. Let me know if anyone's used Enhancer app, and let's go ahead and jump into the demo space so I can show you how it works. Here I have a picture of a couple of my friends. It is a really great picture, but let me expand it to full size. That is pretty blurry, which is such a shame because it's a great pose. They are in bright colors. It's such an engaging picture, but it's just not quite ready to share. So that's when I'm gonna use the Enhancer app to make it better. So in the editor, there are two ways that you can find the Enhancer app. From the home page, you can go to apps. You can search it here, but you can also browse the apps by different categories that they fall under. So maybe AI powered, productivity, lots of options. You can also search it here, and there it is. But since we are already in a design, I can go to the App Store here on the left-hand side of my editor. And from here, search Enhancer. And here we are. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to choose a file. Here's the blurry photo. Now, since this is an image that has faces in it, make sure you toggle on Enhance Face and start enhancing the image. If you don't toggle on the Enhance Face, the AI technology just might make the faces look a little bit more computer generated than you actually want. But when you toggle on Enhance Face, like contains faces, it knows to be a little bit more realistic in that space. So let's see how it turns out. All right, so there is the new enhanced image. So I'm going to go ahead and add it in here. Now let's see the two images back to back so you can really see the difference. So here's the first one, a little bit blurry, not quite perfect. How cool is that? It's like a subtle difference, but it makes such a big difference. Before and after. I love that. So let me know in the chat if this is something that you think that you could use, if you can think of other creative ways to use it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the demos for today. So that is all from me today, but I'd be remiss if I didn't let you know about some helpful resources that you can review and look at in your own time before our next What's New Wednesday. Make sure to grab the handbook because we have links to other really cool, new and noteworthy features. We have a lot of great AI. We have just so many cool things coming out. If you enjoyed this event and want to attend more Canva events, make sure to go to our Canva events page. We have a lot of webinars and workshops and just anything that you think you might want to learn more about. I bet you we have an upcoming event that you can do just that at. And then we also have our resources page where you can find links, help articles, YouTube videos for just about whatever you need. And then of course, Design School. Design School is so cool. We have a bunch of self-paced modules. So if you want an intro into video editing with Canva, head to Design School, hop in, and take the self-paced module that'll bring you from absolute beginner to intermediate or whatever level you want to reach on your own in your own time. It's a really great resource, so make sure you check that out. Also in the handout, we have links to the previous What's New events. So if you want to go back and watch some of these events from 2023, grab the handout and you can do just that over on our YouTube page. Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you so much for joining me for the first What's New Wednesday of 2024, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye everybody.